Hey everyone, Nick from Mossy Creek Fly Fishing with this week's fly fishing forecast. Today is Monday, September 15th. We hope everyone had a great weekend, had some awesome weather. Coming into this week, we got a few changes we'll talk about and kind of what that could mean for the fishing and on from that. So, been a little bit warmer this week than we had last week. Nice, mid upper 80s some days. We're gonna get a really quick cold snap Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So today it's like a high of almost 80 here in town, and tomorrow, tomorrow we're looking at like a high of like 69. So got a really big cold snap coming. Not cold snap, cold front, just a couple days. Could potentially bring some rain with it. Forecasts are kind of all over the place. It looks like low probability, but chances are if we get some rain, we could maybe get a good bit. So we'll keep an eye on that. If you look at the forecast, it shows like 50% chance of rain, but if we get rain, potential heavy local rainfall. So, with a little bit of luck, maybe we'll actually get a decent bit of rain. It's been, a good month or two without much measurable water. So anything that we can get at this point will be super helpful. Regardless, if we don't get that water that we hope to have, we're still gonna get some cooler, overcast, rainy, maybe drizzly days. So if you're planning on fishing the spring creeks or just doing some fishing in general, it'll be a nice break from like the really high pressure, sunny, no cloud days that we've had the last week or so. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we'll get some water, like I said. After that like 2-day stretch later in the week, we're back to mid 80s, pretty clear, very little chance of rain, kind of that same pattern we were in. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll get a little shot into some of our streams. On that note, brook trout streams are still very low. A lot of them are pretty much unfishable. There's some water that either has really good springs or big drainages that provides a little bit of fishable brook trout water, but most places you go, you're gonna find pretty challenging right now. So if you go to some of those places that are still holding water, look for your running water. Those low, slow pools with tons of fish in them are gonna be really, really spooky. You've just got a lot of eyes looking at you. It can be hard to get your fly in front of a fish that doesn't know you're there when you've got so many other buddies spooking. So look for that moving water, look for that deeper water, and that'll be helpful. Down here on the spring creeks, we've still had some really good fishing. Our hopper fishing's getting good. Brian talked about it a little bit last week. We're really kind of approaching that tail end of our hex hatch. I'm still seeing some bugs coming off, but it's definitely thinning down what we're seeing. So as that hex kind of slides off and becomes less relevant on our waters, the hopper fishing should improve even more. Water's good and low and clear in a lot of places so they can see, and as those bigger mayflies disappear, that hopper is going to be more important food. So keep an eye out on that. It's a great time of year to kind of fish a hopper dropper as you're prospecting, at least have the chance of a fish coming up and eating something like that. They can be pretty opportunistic this time of year. So, if you're going to fish a nymph anyway, might as well put on a dropper just so you've got both options. So something to think about. Streamer fishing's still been pretty good, especially on those overcast rainy days. Like I said, it looks like we might have those Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you're looking to get out and kind of cover some water, maybe have some less spooky fish, looking for some chasing fish, that should play to your advantage as far as that goes. All of our waters have been stocked for the fall. We just trimmed up Mossy in a lot of our streams to get them in really good shape. So if guided fishing is something that you're looking for, we've got some availability here over the next couple months. We've got awesome temperatures, the water's in great shape. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'd love to get you out there. A lot of those dates are starting to fill up really quick for the fall. So if you're looking to get out there with us, give us a call as quick as you can, and we can get you in one of those slots. As we mentioned in the email last week, Suzy Q is open too. Filled up super quick. There's a few weekdays left. So if you're wanting to get on that, call us, I would say here in the next couple days, as that'll probably be filled up pretty quickly. So still a lot of options. Public section of Beaver Creek's been fishing really well. South River's had good reports. Spring Run, State will start to stock again here soon. We'll have some stuff in the fall. So lots of good options, and the lake fishing can be pretty good this time of year too. So moving away from trout a little bit, still really similar smallmouth fishing as we talked about last week. Water is still low and clear. Remains to be seen, if we're going to get that rain, what that's going to do to the river. Maybe we'll get a little bit of color and a little more flow going for next week. But right now it's still low and clear. With some of the colder temperatures on top of that, we're finding a lot of the fish really stacked up. So, we're all summer long on kind of a long, shallow, rocky, fun run or stretch. You may have found fish in every little crevice. Now they're going to be like in the pockets, in the deeper water, at the tails of those pools, stacked up. Instead of spread all over the place, we're going through places and finding like 50 fish in one spot, and then go through a lot of dead water and find like another 50 fish. And so really look for those deeper, slower spots where they're going to stack up. They can be extremely spooky, and so knowing where those spots are, making long casts with long leaders, small flies kind of ahead of the boat can be helpful. If you get in there and you catch one or you spook them, oftentimes if you really slow down, anchor up, sit there for a little while, they'll come back, slide into place, and you might have another shot at them. They're in a weird transition right now where they really want to eat leading up to the winter, but they're also spooky, and so sometimes you can play a little bit of that to your advantage, right? Normally they spook off, there's not much you can do, move on, find the next fish. This time of year they still have to eat and make some decisions, and so if you settle in, oftentimes those fish will settle in, you might have a few other shots. So just a little trick to try. One other thing I would say, especially about this time of year, you see it when you can see the fish really well, and when we get in these picky, low water, spooky situations, bass can eat just as subtle, if not more subtle, than trout do. Because they're a bass, I think they have a reputation for just being this like crazy aggressive fish that always pulls the fly out of your hand. Sure, that happens times, but there's a lot of bites that you might be missing if you're not looking for like small little sips. Fish will swim up on the fly, stop right behind it, open their mouth, suck it, blow it out as soon as they realize it's not food, just like that. Quick enough that you can, be too slow on the hook set, flies out, and maybe you didn't even notice you actually got a bite. So I train my anglers this time of year, like if you see fish, if you can see them, watch them come up to your fly, look for those really subtle cues. If you see a little flash of the gills, if you see them kind of make a weird movement, just assume they ate their fly and set. I think you'll find that you're getting a lot more bites than you think if you start to think that way, and just have a hair trigger ready to go at all times. If you have any sort of funny feeling, if you see something, if you see a little flash, if they act weird, just assume they ate your fly and set the hook, and I think you'll have more hook sets. So musky fishing's getting good too. With those cooler temperatures, they're getting pretty fired up. This can be a fun time to fish while the temperatures are cool, but we don't have the real heavy leaf litter yet. That being said, as we go into October, those really windy days, sometimes you'll have a lot of leaves falling and it will start to choke up the river. That's going to become more of a problem here in the next several weeks, so just something to think about. So here's the fingers crossed for more rain in the next couple days. If not, get out there, use some of kind of those tactics I talked about for low, clear water. Take advantage of the really comfortable temperature and the fun fishing, and make the best of what we got. So as always, give us a call if you have questions, if you need help getting somewhere, we're happy to help. That's why we're here. You can come in the shop and see us, email us, or call us. Other than that, we'll see you next week. Happy fishing.